Welcome back to Yoki's Kitchen. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. Today we're gonna have one of my Slam Bam Easy's favorite meals, and I'm gonna share that with you. We're gonna have some fried pork chops and some Mexican street corn. So with that being said, season your pork chops to your liking, whatever it is you like. Make sure that you do so. Make sure that you can see the seasoning on there, and I'll show you what it is that I use. I use some adobo. I have some onion and garlic powder, and I also have some Tony Saturates. We are going to fry this or cover or coat our pork chops with some all-purpose flour. That pretty much covers that. Also some black pepper, if need be, maybe just a hit of Himalayan salt. Now for your Mexican street corn, you're gonna need some corn. Fresh corn preferably. I'm not sure how the frozen corn is going to handle because I've never used frozen corn. Frozen corn tends to be a little bit more soggier when you actually do cook it. So I would recommend fresh corn with the husk because I'm gonna show you a hack. I am going to also dress our corn with some Parmesan cheese. Now the Parmesan cheese that is in here is actually freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I'm just recycling the container, which is the Kraft Parmesan cheese. I have some Hellmann's mayonnaise if you want Dukes, whatever it is that you choose. I'm not sure about Miracle Whip, but either one of the two you can use and make that happen. Some butter, salt and pepper, and I am also going to coat a couple of my corns with some flaming hot limon Cheetos. I'm gonna show you how that works or how that looks, so stick around. Let's get to season your pork chop to your liking. Whatever it is that you like, make sure that you use that. I am also gonna season my flour when I get ready to fry these pork chops. So these pork chops have been washed and pat dry. You are also, well, not also, but the cuts of pork chops that I like are the thin cut bone in. You can choose whatever cut it is that you prefer. Make sure that you do so. So we are going to season these pork chops both sides. This is adobo all-purpose con comino with cumin. Let's get both sides. Now make sure y'all season your food to your liking. I'm gonna do it how I like it. Some onion powder, both sides. Some garlic powder, single. We are going to use some Tony Saturates. This is optional, you can, but this does give it a very, very nice flavor. Make sure you get both sides. Boy, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. And ooh wee. Boy, that would take your breath. Excuse me. And some ground black pepper. Y'all, I can't barely talk right now. That Tony Saturate is lit. Or don't inhale while you're seasoning. All right, I'm not going to use any more salt. Our adobo, as well as our Tony Saturates, has more than enough salt, and more than enough sodium. And I am also going to season my flour, so I don't want to make it too salty. All right, another thing, mostly important, very, very, very important, we do not cook cold meat. Cold meat, I don't care what it is, once you introduce it to that heat, it's going to become very, very tough. Another thing with pork chops, sometimes you will find, especially with a pork chop like this, if you notice, right here in this section, it almost wants to fold. So when I put this pork chop in that grease, naturally the center of the chop is going to bubble up. So what I am going to do is I am going to get a knife and I am going to make a slit right along here. Once I do that, I'm gonna show you that in a second. I'm gonna make a slit right along here so that when I fry it or when I introduce this chop to the grease, it will not bubble. And that way you can have a nice even cook throughout both sides and maintain that nice color. A second ago. Now this one doesn't seem like it's going to do it because it's nice and flat. Now Yoke, how can you tell? How can you tell which ones is gonna need it? Whenever in doubt, just do all. So I'm just gonna make a small incision right here where the fat meets the pork chop. So when we put it in the fryer, everything will fry flat, like so. See this one is kind of tight. You see that? See how this membrane right here is holding this centerpiece pretty tight? This one is going to bubble for sure. So I'm just going to separate that so that when I put it in the grease, it will lay flat. Let's do another one. This one, same thing. You see how this is overlapping? This one for sure will do it. So let's put a little incision right here. Like so. Let's cut a little bit of this off. This is just, this is tips and tricks. This is nothing that you have to do. I just rather do it so that I can have a nice even brown on my pork chops. And this one seems like it'll be okay, but that rim does feel a little tight. So we're gonna do the same thing for this one, like so. All right, we have these seasoned. While we're here, have our seasonings out, we might as well season our flour as well. We have our oil on the stove heating up. And that's something that you want to do kind of early so that when you're done and you're ready, you can just drop those in. So we have our all-purpose flour. I do not recycle flour. Flour is not that expensive. Once you introduce meat, chickens, whatever it is, into flour, your flour is now contaminated. So you need to be very careful when dealing with flour. Just throw it away. It's not a big deal. I think the only people that can get away with that is like my grandma, your grandma. But anybody else, Okay. We have our flour. You don't need much because we are only coating. We're not making gravy or anything of that sort. So we're going to go in with the same exact seasonings. We are going to use some adobo. We are going to use some onion powder. Garlic powder, Creole seasoning. Now, another thing, this is just mental note. Do not add anything with herbs to your flour. Why? Because herbs burn. You are going to find that, I just said don't talk while using this stuff and I'm still running my mouth. You're going to find that the herbs in your you're going to find that your herbs in your flour is going to burn, whether it's on your chicken or your pork chop, whatever it is that you're doing. All right, we use that. This stuff is potent. And some black pepper. It's sharper than black pepper. Jeez. Now you can also add some paprika. I only have smoked paprika, so I'm not going to use it to give it some extra color. But our Tony Saturate is gonna take care of that for us. Give this a nice little shake. And there you go. We have some seasoned flour. All right, so let's clean this up and let's head to the oil and drop these in so we can get started on our corn. Quick oil check. Let's make sure our oil is hot. A little bit of flour, drop that in. It's nice and hot. See that sizzle that I gave you? Like so? Okay. Now this is just a double-lined piece of parchment paper. You can use whatever it is that you choose, but I just use this when I am dusting the flour on my pork chops. I am going to, or whatever it is that I'm frying, put 2 of them in at a time. You do not want to overcrowd your bag because you want them to be evenly coated. Make sure your bag is closed and keep the air in it and give it a shake, like so. Shake it up. Open your bag. Bag's going in the trash, so it doesn't matter. And make sure everything is coated, nice and even. Dust off the excess flour. You do not want the flour to actually burn in your pan. So you want to dust, oh geez, not like that, but dust off as much of the flour as possible, like so. And you're just going to add that to your grease. Dust off. Now these do not take long at all, maybe 3 minutes each side. And that's it. Thin cut pork chops. You add your other 2. We are going to put these on the parchment paper once we have these coated. And we're going to move on to our corn. Beautiful golden brown, as you can see. We are going to take these out. It's been about 3 minutes each side. Look how beautiful they are. Don't take long. You're going to put this on a cooling rack. The purpose for your cooling rack is so that your breading does not get soggy. Ooh, they're so pretty. All right, we're going to add in these last 2. And then we are going to get that corn into the microwave. In the microwave, yes ma'am. These were a little bigger. Now your fresh corn, you are going to need to pretty much cut the tops off and just take a few of the leaves off. We want to maintain a steaming capsule with your leaves. So what we are going to do, or what we are trying to do at this point, is cook the corn inside of the corn husk. And like so. All right. So now that you have your corn with just a few pieces of your husk leaves, we are going to cut the top like so, because we are going to pretty much soak these husks with water. As many of them as you choose to have. Very, very simple and delicious. You're going to repeat this process until you have all of your corn. Your corn is complete. You are going to pretty much saturate the corn in water. I mean, from the top, you cut the top and you cut the bottom. So you want the corn to pretty much absorb as much, or the husk to absorb as much of this water as possible. Same for all pieces. Just pretty much drown it in the water. Now that you have done that, you are going to get a few pieces or a few plugs of paper towel, and you are going to wrap your corn. Oh, Try to keep it together. You're gonna wrap your corn into the paper towel. Like so. Wrap it all the way around. And you are going to wet the paper towel. So now you have a steaming capsule with your corn. You're gonna do that with all of your pieces. Wrap that corn up. Like so. And we are gonna soak that paper towel. Now that your corn is covered and submerged with liquid, you are going to put it into the microwave. You're gonna put it into the microwave for 5 minutes on high. Now, depending on how high is high on your microwave will determine your cook time. You can check it as you go, but as of right now, we're gonna start off with 5 minutes. Let's check on the pork chops looking really, really good. All right, now this one did exactly what I was telling you about making the actual little slit onto the pork chop. As you can see here, see how it's all warped? It's not as brown as the rest of the pork chop. No matter how much I cut, as you see here, there's a nice pronounced slit in there. It just looks like it just bended right here at the bone. At that point, there's nothing you can do about it. All right, pork chops are done. Turn this off. Now let's start making our, let's start crushing our Cheetos for. We're going to need the Cheetos of your choice. I chose the Flamin' Hot Limon Cheetos. Those are my preferred. Now you can put this into a bag if you do not have a small food processor like so. It's okay. Just put it into a bag and just smash it up. Get these out of the way. Fit them in there nicely. Add your lid and just crush. It's a lot faster than crushing it up in a bag, but you want to get it a fine, powdery consistency. So that it can stick nicely. And this is how we are looking. I'm gonna add that to a bowl. Now that is greasy. As you can see, we do have some residue left over inside. Don't worry, you can get that out at the end. But you are going to continue the process until you have achieved the amount of Cheeto dust that you desire. I'm gonna keep going because I like mine to be thick. You have successfully created Cheeto dust. Now, if you do not add your Parmesan cheese to your Cheeto dust, when you're getting ready to roll your corn, it's gonna be one or the other. So what I like to do is I like to mix them both so that I can have best of both worlds when it comes to the corn. So I'm gonna add my Parmesan cheese to my Cheeto dust. That way I can have both flavors that it is that I'm looking for in each bite. All right, our corn is ready. Hold your horses. That corn is extremely, extremely hot. If you finagle with that right now, you are going to burn yourself. I'm not telling you wait until it cools all the way down, but you don't have to be in no rush to get it out the microwave. Okay. So this is what we're looking like. We have our Cheeto dust and our grated Parmesan cheese. Remember, this is freshly grated Parmesan cheese. It's just in that container because it's a lot more convenient than in a plastic bowl for me to use that. Okay, as much or as little that you like. Now to our corn. We have mayo, as I told you. This is going to be your binding agent. This mayo is going to pretty much hold on to all of our Cheeto goodness here and hold it onto the corn. You are going to first add your butter, a little bit of salt and pepper. You are also going to go into, or maybe vice versa, don't put your salt and pepper until you add your mayo. And then roll it around in the Cheeto dust, and I am going to show you how that looks. Our microwave is done. They have been standing or sitting for a couple minutes. You are going to take those out, and this is what you are going to have. They are still screaming hot, so just be careful. Unwrap your corn one at a time. Obviously, you're not going to do this two at a time, just to make sure that your corn is fully cooked. How do you know? You can pretty much smell it. And when you look at the top of your corn or the bottom of your corn is going to be pretty bright yellow. I'm going to show you that in a second, but that is hot. Well, I'm just going to open it. Or feel it. Feel it. That's nice. Because it's too hot for me to peel that back right now. All right, so you're going to expose your corn so it can start to cool. That thing hot. Shoots. And corn is flying everywhere. And last one. Uy. Caliente. Está súper, súper caliente. All right. So we have all of our corn out of the paper towels. Super steamy, as you can see. At this point, you're just going to peel back and look how beautiful this corn looks. That's how you can tell that this corn is cooked. All right, once you take the husk off, you are going to remove the, what is that called, hair? The corn hair. And then you're going to start to dress that corn. We have our corn exposed. The hair has been removed. So now I'm going to go in with some butter. And this is where we start the goodness. You're just going to, as you can see, the corn is still very, very hot. So that butter is just gliding right on that. Or you can use the squeeze butter, whatever type it is that you choose. It doesn't matter. Choose what you like. Roll your corn around in that butter. Or you don't have to use butter since you're using mayonnaise, but this is how I like it. Coat all sides. We are now going to go in with some mayo. Have a nice little convenient brush to do so. I'm going to do one since we are going to coat this with mayo, as much or as little as you like. Does not make a difference. This is just to start that glue for our corn, like so. Let's go in with a little bit of black pepper. A little bit of salt. Just a dash. Because my Cheetos are already hot, I'm not going to use any cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, if you're just going to use regular Cheetos, cayenne pepper will definitely take it over the top. Very, very good addition. And you are just going to roll your corn into your Cheetos, like so. nice and thick. I need a third hand. Get that on now. Like so. Oof. I'm losing it on the ends. Okay, our corn is done. Now, at this point, this is how simple this meal was, as I was telling you. You don't have much time, but you want something that's really good and satisfying. This is where it's at. So our pork chop is done. Nice and golden brown. I have my plate. We eating with our hands today. We ain't getting no fork. And our corn. Now, if you want to pair this with a salad so that you can feel like you had all spectrums of the food chain, your vegetable, well, I guess corn is vegetable. If you want greens, let's say green. Side salad would be great. Hot sauce for that pork chop, your choice. We not doing that. This is just how we having this. So we have our flaming hot limon Cheetos Mexican street corn with our fried pork chop. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's have a taste. I can tell you right now this corn is very good. Taste that pork chop. Perfectly cooked and tender. Pork chop will not take much of anything. Very good. And your corn. Now that it's summertime, you can get you 5 ears of corn for $2. Very, very good. As I said, quick and easy. Who don't like that? So with that being said, Yoke Gang, I hope you enjoyed this quick, simple. Your family is going to love it. Your kids definitely are going to love it because Cheetos is a part of this. And as a matter of fact, you can get them to actually smash them Cheetos for you. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure you check out www.yokegang.com. Pick up a t-shirt or a patch. Support the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel just by watching this video. And y'all know I love it when things work. My stove works, but I love y'all for life.